Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have the lovely lady Sally, and she's going to teach us about behavioural science and what it involves and what it's really about. So anybody out there who's thinking of changing career or they're a student, listen deep and learn something. So nice to have you here today, Sally.
Thank you.
So tell us first of all, what kind of person were you when you were in school?
I think that I was quite a good student, but not the best. I tried hard at, the subjects that I was interested in, but I also failed quite miserably at those that I wasn't. So, a pretty balanced teenager.
Were you an introvert, extrovert?
More of an introvert.
Mm-hmm. So
Definitely like to study people from afar.
Okay, that's interesting. So you saw something that you liked doing from early days. That's good. Were you into sports?
Yeah, look, I love watching sports. I wasn't very good at sports. I enjoyed playing them, but I was never competitive.
Okay. What's your favorite sport?
Hockey.
Okay. That's nice. So how did you get into the industry of behavioural science?
Okay, so I went to university in the States, and I actually made a choice to go to the States. I wanted to experience school over there in general, and I decided that I would try studying behavioral science, and I didn't actually know that much about the subject before I embarked on it, but it's as I was speaking to you earlier, it's extremely complex, quite vast, and there are so many different elements to it. So yeah, shoot away. I mean, there are so many different career paths that you can take from studying it.
What are some of these elements, these paths?
Okay, well, I mean, it's basically the study of the human behavior, whether that's in business or whether that's in a creative space. That we did we did 2 months worth of work on imagining and sort of studying these creative people and why they are the way they are, why are creatives naturally more introverted, why are they why do they have these gifts, and how come they can't seem to shake them, etc. And then we also worked with criminals and things like that. It's very, very vast.
Is this like anthropology?
Yeah, very similar.
Okay. Just for those who don't know what anthropology is, it's where you go to you study people and is that right? Study people.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was watching a documentary.
Different cultures
they go to the Amazon.
Yeah, because it also changes from culture to culture. We're in the UK right now. It might not be the same as what I studied in the US,
Mm-hmm. Okay. What would you say you found that you wish you... would you say you've learnt in this industry that you wish you knew when you started?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. I think take everybody's word, but study it.
Okay.
Don't just, always believe. I don't think it helps when this is the point. When we've been working with people that are troubled, you can't make them feel uncomfortable by making them feel like a liar. So it's important to make them understand that you believe what they're saying, and you believe that they think that whatever they're saying is correct. But then it's up to you to go take it away and think about, whether it's true or not.
Okay, because I always use a term called show and tell.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me anything, but it's what you show me I really take.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's very similar.
Mm-hmm. So with all this information you gather from people, are you trying to I wouldn't suppose the word manipulate wouldn't probably be appropriate, but what are you doing with that information? Are you just sending it to their bosses, or?
Well, we come up with like reports. It really depends on the assignment. It depends, there's also, again, as I said, it's vast. In terms of like businesses, yeah, we are sending it to their bosses, because the bosses are the ones that are coming through and saying, are my employees okay? Are they mentally okay? Are they going to burn out, or are they not cut out for this type of work? When you're working with people in prisons and things like that, you have to be a little bit more careful, because it's a bit more complex. So it really just depends on the situation.
Suppose the people in prison, you're determining whether they stay there longer or whether they go somewhere else. What's the difference between your profession and a psychiatrist?
Psychiatrists will deal more with they have more of a skill in dealing with past traumas, whereas we're not interested in past traumas. We just want to know why. Okay. Why did this happen yesterday, and why did this happen right now?
Okay. So, for instance, a soldier or a special forces guy who's working with, let's say,
so I've never worked with anybody in any of the special forces or an army or anything like that, so I don't know.
Okay.
But
I was going to use an example.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Sorry.
But I was just thinking of where sometimes they flip out. Then you would be brought in just to have a conversation with them.
I actually think that's when a psychoanalyst would come in.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things, isn't it?
There
You've got
psychiatrists, therapists, psychoanalysts. I mean, they're all, everybody sort of comes from the same boat, but different strengths.
Different ways of approaching. Okay, so you've got the why, how, and I suppose what made you. That's quite deep. What did you ever consider going down a different route?
Yeah, I guess so, because, I never really considered that many routes, because I was just desperate to go to school and figure it out, but then I ended up enjoying the subject, so I did end up in this field. But yeah, I don't think I really had any other passions before that. I always wanted to do something to do with, humans and working with people, but I didn't think it would be at this level.
Yeah, okay. Do you find that it's hard to switch off? That when you look at meeting people socially, or...
No, not now. In the beginning, when you begin studying it, it was a little bit difficult, but not anymore, because you can't live like that. You just have to, be a normal person. And also, you can't take everything so seriously. Maybe that's just me as well, but I don't know many people that would take it so seriously.
You probably hear quite a few traumatizing stories and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I know some psychiatrists need a psychiatrist to talk to after they've spoken to
yes, that's
a patient.
True. That is
true. Is it the same thing with yourselves?
It's not the same thing with us, but I have spoken to therapists in the past before I, like when I was studying, actually, just because I thought it would be healthy. But it's not mandatory, but it is recommended.
I noticed you said therapist. What's the role of a therapist?
Just basically a professional for you to speak to about whatever is going on in your life.
Something different from a psychiatrist.
Yeah, a psychiatrist is if you have something quite serious, like terrible anxiety, chronic depression, things like that.
Okay. That's because I understand children see therapists as well.
Yeah, and that might be because their parents are getting divorced, or they're having trouble at school or whatever, but they don't physically or mentally have something wrong with them. They might not have something as severe as, like, if you had, say, for example, an eating disorder, you don't really need to go to a therapist. You would need something a bit more serious.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. can you transition onto psychiatrist or that other profession? Because it sounds like there's a
I
crossover
think
anyway.
you could, but I don't think you could do it without doing a sort of conversion course.
Like another degree, master's.
Yeah,
kind of
something. You would have to. I don't think you could just, change your profession that quickly.
What motivates you?
Honestly, just finding out why people do what they do.
Do you find that those skills, that tools that you have developed, have helped you greatly in life?
I do.
And if so, how?
I just think having a good understanding about how different people react to things, how somebody's upbringing can affect them, it just makes you a bit more understanding and less, I don't know, sort of proud. Everybody makes mistakes, and understanding why is a pretty powerful tool.
I was having a debate with somebody. Well, not a debate, just a conversation. And at times I can have a real temper. It can really fly for the handle. I always try and keep it controlled. But then it occurred to me one time that the smaller your vocabulary, the more likely you are to get angry and want to use violence. Because you're trying to express yourself, and you may, if you're debating or arguing with an educated person, you can't match them.
You can't articulate what you're trying to say as well.
And even if you know you're in the right on this one,
but
because you can't say it, you think, oh, it's just easier to bash them.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that you would analyse. You'd understand.
It is, and it is something that is very common. As in, it shows up a lot. But I will say one thing, like, even if you have the most extensive vocabulary, there will be moments in your life where you cannot articulate yourself anyway.
Is it?
Because of your emotions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you're educated with that, and gifted with a extensive vocabulary. You might find yourself in a moment of complete anguish where you cannot articulate how you're feeling, and then you might lash out in a different way.
That's really interesting, because what I also realise is that the next day when you calm down, you think, I should have said this, I should have said that, all that kind of thing, and then you look at it and you're like, why did I say that? And then when I was thinking, so I heard someone on YouTube, one of the motivational, says when you get angry, there's a chemical reaction that happens in your brain that actually suppresses the kind of logical thing.
Your logical thinking?
Yeah, logical thinking.
What was it called?
I can't remember what he called, but he said this was actually like a biological fact that so it's not good to get angry because it suppresses everything that helps you function sensible. Right. And then you just act on 100% emotions, and then you just, if you're violent, you're just gonna like Genghis Khan the place, kind of thing, if you see what I mean. And that was very, very, very enlightening for me.
That is weird, but it makes sense.
Yeah. If I remembered, it's one of those big words. If I remembered, I would happily tell you. But sadly, I don't. What's the impact you want to have in the world?
I honestly just think trying to make people understand each other.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
I don't have dreams of grandeur. I'm a realist and a simplist.
Yeah. I hear you. That makes sense. Sense. If you could do it all again, would you?
Yeah.
Okay. And the only last questions, you've been a great guest. You need a degree, and what's the lower qualifications you need?
Psychology.
That's psychology, A-levels,
yeah,
degree, or...
And honestly, just work experience. I don't actually think you need to go the full route. You don't need to become a doctor, nothing like that. Work experience is the most important thing. If you've got it, you've got it. If you have empathy for people, then you're perfect.
And work experience wise, you're obviously talking to corporate companies, and
anyone that you can get involved with. But corporate is a good place to start because they do need a lot of help in terms of they have, mass numbers of employees and it's global and they will need extra hands, whereas with smaller companies and more niche situations, like, they won't need that many.
Okay. So you must do a lot of flying around the world.
Did. Pre-COVID.
Oh yeah. But when everything gets sorted out, you'll be back on it.
Maybe, hopefully.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, you're a globetrotter. I suppose that's an added perk to the job.
Yeah. But it takes you to some strange places.
Oh, is it? What, strange places around the world, or the strange people?
Strange people, actually. Yeah.
That's interesting. But thanks a lot for that, Sally. Much appreciated.
Pleasure.
And we wish you well on your future endeavours.
Thank you.
We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.